Hi, thank you for clicking on the video and I hope everyone is doing really well. So I was planning on just watching this video on my own. It is on a topic that I myself have suffered from in the past and still on occasion continue to suffer from it. And it is from Abbey Sharp. The video is opening up about my extreme bloating diagnosis, how it actually feels to fix SIBO. And from the thumbnail, it shows she has a photo of showing one of her days of being extremely bloated, and yeah, she looks just a few months pregnant in it, but that's just bloat. And as someone who has experienced that, and yes, I have looked almost 9 months pregnant, couldn't see my feet because of how bloated I was, I sympathize and I relate. It's a long one, probably won't make it through all of it, but because I have suffered from extreme bloating, seemed like this could be a good topic to react to.
As a little recap for those late to the bacteria murder mystery party, I have SIBO, which is small intestinal bacterial overgrowth, and I'm trying to kill it off once and for all. My first go at this in early 2021 went well, but basically doing the breastfeeding safe protocol just wasn't strong enough to kill this off for good. So now I'm going all in with a protocol that's an
absolute death machine.
Yeah, I'm gonna kill this mother. But very quickly, a big disclaimer that my protocol is mine and mine alone. Please do not attempt to replicate this at all. Always speak to your doctor and a dietitian about your unique healthcare needs. And if you're dealing with SIBO, please seek out individualized care. What I am doing personally could potentially be dangerous for you.
That's scary. What I'm doing might be dangerous for you. It's true, but that's kind of scary. I think some people will watch her videos where she's documenting her, trying to fix her SIBO or get rid of it. And she's crying and she's all upset and people are probably like, oh, she's being dramatic. No, you don't understand. Like some people, they have days where they're a little bloated. This is not a little bloated. This is weeks at a time, bloated out to here, carrying just this around with you. You don't feel like yourself. Nothing fits. You feel like crap. You're trying to still live your normal life while being in probably some of the most excruciating discomfort and pain. There were days where it's like, I just want to die. Like, that's how bad it was. Now, I did not have SIBO. When nothing works, it really is disheartening and discouraging. And yeah, you want to just end it all because at least then you're not bloated. Sometimes you will find a solution and that solution works for a while. And then it just doesn't anymore.
So this is weird, but I've been told that the bismuth thiol complex, try saying that 10 times fast, some of the potential side effects are kind of like flu-like symptoms and also just like new GI symptoms like nausea, vomiting, diarrhea, constipation, etc. Things that maybe weren't present before are getting worse now. And I'm feeling that. I'm not feeling my best. Like things that were not triggering for me before are now triggering. So if I were to even eat just like a little piece of cauliflower, like I feel like I'm back in my heyday of my IBS symptoms. So not feeling so good. And I also know I'm in this for 2 whole months. So just trying to take it day by day and pay close attention to my symptoms, log them, track them, journal them, just so I have a better sense of what's kind of triggering for me now and what I might want to keep tabs on.
The tracking, whether it's whether you struggle from a SIBO or IBS or Candida, or if you're trying to do a FODMAP diet kind of situation. Oh my gosh, the tracking and trying to figure out, correlate, this food with, this amount of bloat, this food with this amount of bloat, and, pain levels. And it's a lot. It's so much that I didn't do it. Because that just seems like too much work. I just paid attention to, oh, I'm super bloated. What did I eat the last 3 days? Broccoli. And that is the current state that I am in. I have been bloated for 3 days. The only difference is I've been eating broccoli again. And now I'm in pain every day. So I'm gonna stop doing that.
So I'm trying to do some filming here, and these pills like wrecking my stomach. I'm getting new symptoms that I don't feel like I've had since the very beginning, but my stomach was like grumbling the entire few hours, and I'd eaten. Like, those were not hunger grumbles. Those were like, girl, you gotta get to the toilet grumbles. You know what I'm saying? Not the best kind of grumbles, because at least the hunger grumbles mean meals are coming, you know? Something good's gonna land in my mouth.
At least she's pooping.
Okay, so I'm already a bit behind on my crazy schedule here that I worked over myself, but I'm not gonna stress over it because that is just the reality of my life. Like, all three boys' schedules are going to kind of be prioritized above mine, and I'm just gonna have to work with what I got here.
Does she just refer to her husband as one of the boys?
So I'm not freaking out about that, but this is day one of, oh my God, just dropped my antibiotic in my oatmeal. Not sure that that was what they meant by taking it with your breakfast, but today is day one of my antibiotic, and I am having it with my breakfast, like I was just gonna say. Not necessarily in the breakfast, but with the breakfast. I'm having, just an FYI, I've got a protein smoothie here. We have tons of hemp hearts, like, I don't know, at least a quarter cup probably.
Quarter cup of hemp? My stomach's starting to bloat just thinking about that. Holy shit. I know we're here to talk about bloat and SIBO and all that good stuff, but can we just comment on how gray that smoothie looks?
A big glob of almond butter, blueberries, banana, spinach, almond milk. Yep, that's probably it in this one.
If you don't poop after that, you're probably like me, and nothing will make you poop.
This one. Then I did my famous protein oats with whipped egg yolk, egg whites, oats. Obviously, I did some beautiful almond butter, some strawberries, and then I've got 2 kiwis as well. I need to have a big breakfast because I'm used to having like snacks between my meals, but I'm trying to really space out my meals here to give my migratory motor complex a little bit of time to work.
Okay, I was gonna say, that's a lot for one meal, but if she's trying not to snack as much, I don't know if I would recommend snacks or not for extreme bloating. I just don't snack, so that's what works for me.
Yeah, I'm procrastinating, if you can't tell, because I'm a little bit nervous. I feel like I've been on this journey for so long, and I've been on the bismuth-thiol complex for like 10 weeks. That is 10 weeks of feeling like absolute crap, especially in the past 2 weeks, because I really upped the old ante and I doubled my my prescription for that. So I was taking it twice a day. So I've really been feeling crappy, and I'm just so worried that this isn't going to work. This feels like my last shot.
I can relate. Like I said, you could be doing something for weeks and it does work and you're feeling good, and then one day it just doesn't work anymore. And that sucks. And then you're like, you try to keep doing it and it's not working anymore, and it's like you don't know where to go because you thought you had formed the solution, and now you need to form a new solution and figure out something new. So I can relate, and like just the fear of like, is this new thing not gonna work? And am I gonna just be in pain forever? So it's like that, like inevitable knowing that it's gonna come back, or is this thing that I've been doing for, you know, a year, it's just gonna stop working? Am I just supposed to, you know, feel like shit for the rest of my life?
I'm gonna give it all I got, and yeah, here's to healing. I'm gonna wash it down with my Abbey gas, which is also to be taken with meal. Oh, this stuff tastes like ass.
How do you know?
So as I discussed in my last video, the goal here was to aim for a 12-hour fast between like my bedtime snack and when I have breakfast in the morning. And that just is to help give my digestive system kind of the best chance at optimizing the migratory motor complex, which is often impaired in folks with SIBO. Now, I knew that that was going to be probably the hardest part of my journey because I'm just like a snacker by nature, especially since I became a mom. I wake up hungry. I wake up early, very early.
It's nice to know that even with her extreme bloating and discomfort, she still manages to wake up hungry. I wish I could. So the past 3 days have been pretty rough, and when you don't feel hungry, you don't want to eat. It's important to stay consistent. I have not, which is probably why it's prolonging my discomfort. Consistency is key. Get in the habit of eating breakfast and stick with it. Do as I say, not as I do.
It's still like several hours before the 12th hour mark. So lo and behold, that's what happened. This morning I woke up very hungry, ravenous, so to speak, and I was not going to make myself miserable and starving and famished for 3 hours until the clock magically struck 12 hours. So I ate.
Yes, if you're hungry, eat. And if you're not hungry and you're trying to create a healthy schedule and habit, eat. Even if you're not starving, don't wait until you're ravenously starving. Just stick to the schedule. Your body will thank you eventually.
Any potential benefit from an arbitrary 12-hour fast is going to be quickly overshadowed by the stress that restricting or trying to stick to these rules in a perfect way.
Your body doesn't actually know what time it is. And ding, 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 you ate 5 minutes before noon. We're gonna shut down now. It's not how it works. And that is why people who take intermittent fasting way too seriously piss me off. It's so annoying.
So F the rules. I'm going to do my best here, and I think what this means is that I need to collect the data that I'm very hungry in the morning and try to have a bigger bedtime snack to really just help myself get through the night.
I hope that works for her. When I eat a lot more right before bed, those are the mornings I wake up really hungry.
And if it doesn't work, I wake up hungry and I'm gonna eat. Problem solved. So while we're pretty sure that meal spacing is important for, good digestion for folks with SIBO, we're very sure that making ourselves effing crazy over sticking to arbitrary rules is absolutely not good for mental health.
Definitely need to prioritize what is more important, following these rules, or like I said, not going crazy. I opt for the latter. Don't go crazy. Do what you know is best for your body.
All right, a little TMI update for you guys. It is day 3 of me taking the antibiotics, and I honestly feel like crap, which is totally worrying me because when I did the rifaximin only regimen, I felt amazing. Again, TMI, but I was having like chef's kiss, delicious bowel movements. We should not put the words delicious and bowel movements in a sentence.
I was just about to say never describe pooping as delicious, but I will say there is nothing more satisfying when you are like super bloated and you actually have a good poop. It's pretty great.
But you know what I mean. It was amazing. I never felt so good in my whole life. The other thing I remember from my previous experience was that I actually felt like I had a better appetite, like I had more room in my belly because I wasn't so bloated. This time, I have no appetite to eat. I am having violent trips to the washroom. We'll just say that. I just kind of feel gross. Like I just feel a little achy, like a little bit under the weather. I have no appetite. I feel nauseous. I just don't feel good. And I'm just praying that this is a good thing and not a sign that it's not working because I am taking all the things. I am doing all the things.
She just described my like average day. I always feel nauseous. Achy, yep. Maybe I have SIBO. Huh.
And if this doesn't work, in all honesty, I'm probably just gonna have to live with this because there's no way in hell I'm gonna be able to do the elemental diet. I just know it. So let's just hope that this is part of the process and I'm going to make it to the other side feeling like a mother effing rock star. Here's hoping. That hurts. I feel so uncomfortably bloated right now. And it's like, I honestly feel like I'm pregnant. I feel like I'm back to, 5 months pregnant or like first trimester pregnancy where I'm hungry all the time, but then I feel too nauseous to eat a lot of food.
I never feel hungry when I'm bloated. It's just like, it's hard for me to even wrap my brain around that. Like, what is that like to be so bloated, but then also like hungry? I'm never hungry. I never have an appetite.
And all the foods that I actually want to eat are like fruit and carbs and bread and easy peasy stuff like cereal and oatmeal. And then anytime I do eat even a small meal, because that's like all I can comfortably stomach, I explode and I feel uncomfortably full, really tight. I have bad digestive events. Some
people's extreme bloating is different. It comes in 2 forms for me. It's either you can grab my stomach and it's like, it's almost just like, it feels like it's like extra just like stomach's there. Like it's just squishy and like you can grab it and you can kind of flip it. I don't know. The other one, which is way worse, it's when it's real distended. And if you poke it, it's literally rock hard, but not in like a cool rock hard abs sort of way, more in like a, can this please be amputated off of me? It doesn't even like poke in. It's just like my stomach is full of rocks. That's what it feels like. It's just like this heavy weight inside my stomach, and it's just pushing it out.
But I'm just trying to take some relief in the knowledge that this is short-lived, it's a phase, it's like 2 weeks of hell, and then I'll be on the other side. So yeah, I'm just gonna have to do my best to eat the most nutrient-dense meals that I can stomach. I have just not been sleeping well since starting this whole thing, and I don't know what the culprit is. Like, I asked my dietitian colleagues if there's any particular supplements on my regimen that could be potentially interfering with my sleep, or like excitatory or a little stimulating, and we haven't been able to narrow it down. So it's possible it's just like kind of the excitement of it all.
I've dealt with insomnia, but not during this, stage of my health journey. I either am a really good sleeper or terrible sleeper, but I never not sleep.
So I was gonna make myself like a little protein smoothie, but I have to be honest, I have yet to find a protein powder that I really love that's made with stevia. I don't know, I just keep ordering them and not really liking any of them. So I tried this one, it's a little better, still don't love it. So I'm kind of missing the protein powder I was using, Pez Science, which I think is Splenda sweetened, which I am trying to cut back on right now, especially as I go through this eradication phase.
What you should do is buy a unflavored, unsweetened, like just plain protein powder, and then add stevia. Problem solved.
This is a super, super simple chicken noodle soup with lots of big chunks of chicken in there and tons of carrots. And I just felt like peanut butter toast. That's just like what I'm feeling.
That soup looks so depressing. Almost as depressing as being extremely bloated.
So, update. I feel like I'm turning a little bit of a corner here. Like the first week, I was kind of more constipated. And now I might be having like the opposite problem, but also I feel a little bit more like I'm kind of clearing things out. And I do feel less bloated. I have more of an appetite, which is nice. I don't feel so like I did when I was pregnant. P.S. Totally took a pregnancy test because I was like, what the f***? Because I was only craving things that I wanted to eat when I was pregnant. So I'm pretty sure I ate like soup and toast with peanut butter for lunch like most days this week. I really was turned off meat. But today I woke up and I was like, I actually feel like having a more normal-ish size meal. And I think we're gonna do a little date night tonight. So hopefully I can actually enjoy that meal and not feel like I need to kind of just have a bowl of soup and call it a night. Hopefully we are on the up.
Everything she just showed, half of it looked good, half of it not so much, but all of it I wouldn't eat if I was, suffering from extreme bloat, but that's just me. She can do whatever it is she's doing. It just seems that a lot of those things are probably going to irritate the gut, but I digress.
So I'm not feeling great today, not feeling great at all. And it's not like I overate or anything. Like I ate a normal amount for me, especially, like when I go out to a restaurant, maybe even a little bit less. But while I'm not explicitly following any diet plan, so it's not like I broke any rules, it's just I definitely ate a few more irritating foods for my body.
You should feel free to eat whatever it is you want, whenever you want, whatever it is. Food freedom all the way. But when you're suffering with something like this, you do have to, I hate to use the word, you do have to be a bit more strict on yourself. Like if you really want to heal the issue, you do have to be a bit more strict. That doesn't mean that you eliminate things forever, maybe just for a short period of time, decrease the amount that you would typically eat of certain things. You just have to be a little bit more cautious. You have to be a little bit more careful, a little bit more aware, and a little bit more strict. I hate to use that word around food, but just it is what it is, especially if you are in, like I said, some of the worst discomfort of your life.
That I'm well aware of course. Brussels sprouts, those crispy Brussels sprouts.
There are certain things that I really, really like, but I also know my body is going to hate the next day, within the next 20 minutes after eating it, in the next 30 seconds after eating it. Like, I know that. So you have to weigh out pros and cons. Like, is it worth it? Sometimes it is, sometimes it isn't. You need to be aware. Obviously, she is. I never doubted that she wasn't. I just find it interesting that she's in the absolute midst of trying to heal her body, and that was a lot of things that definitely are going to have the opposite effect of what she wants.
With the fried frizzled onions on top and like the cheese sauce, it is my favorite dish in like the whole city. One of my favorite dishes. In fact, a lot of their vegetable dishes at Rasa are some of my favorites in the city. I can't not order them.
I mean, you could, but again, you have to weigh out the pros and cons. Like, is the pain worth it? Is a setback, worth it?
But yeah, that's like the definition of high FODMAP. I'm not judging myself for it. I'm not shaming myself for it. I'm noting it. I'm taking it in as data that, yeah, cheese drowned Brussels sprouts washed down with a glass of Pinot Grigio might not feel so great to me while on these drugs.
And that is exactly what you need to do, whether you are like strictly tracking what you're eating and your, bloat level and your pain level and like correlating the two, or if you're just, like she does, thought note, keep it in mind for next time. But that's what you want to be doing when you are having these kinds of obvious diet related side effects.
Okay, day 16 here. I finished the neomycin and now I'm just taking the rifaximin and the supplements. And I have to be honest with you guys, I feel pretty defeated. Today's not a good day. But basically I was really expecting a similar symptom outcome that I experienced when I just did the rifaximin earlier on in the year. That is that I felt amazing. Like my bloating went away. I was having like the most perfect chef's kiss style, Bristol stool chart, type 3 bowel movements. I know, TMI. Instead, this time around, I feel worse. So I feel super bloated. I feel like kind of gassy and I'm having like pain. I had nausea earlier on.
I know the defeated feeling all too well, especially when like you may have eaten something that you knew while you were eating it that this is not going to end well, but it tastes so good. And then you like blame yourself, obviously, because you should know better. And then always the fear of like, is this going to be my forever? Is this torture? What I get to endure for the, the next 40, 50, 60 years of my life? Because it fucking sucks.
But I'm flip-flopping between kind of feeling constipated versus having kind of loose bowels.
If I can poop, I don't care what the consistency is. I just want to be able to poop like a normal person. That would be pretty cool.
It's bad. And I spoke to my ND earlier on, and she at first suggested, doesn't seem like this is working, so maybe we should abort mission. Or the issue is that a lot of the supplements or the compounding of all of the supplements are kind of muddying the waters in terms of giving us symptomatic evidence that this protocol is working. So in other words, it might just be that some of these supplements for me that, I've got a very sensitive tummy, so it's possible that some of the supplements are causing loose bowels, and that is kind of working against the fact that the antibiotics are causing better bowel movements. So they're kind of like working against each other, and then it's just hard to know if it's even working, which isn't necessarily a bad thing in terms of the outcome of the protocol, in terms of like the killing capacity of the protocol. It just means that, I feel like
it just sounds like that's a person's fast attempt at trying to explain something. Like, these two things are, working against each other. Yeah, and the food you're eating is also working against your own natural gut bacteria.
We don't know if it worked until I test again. So yeah, it's not that any of these supplements like universally cause digestive distress, which seems like why would you want to take those things when you're trying to heal your gut? But everyone's gonna just react differently. And this just proves why it's so important to work with an expert to really help guide you on this, and also to check in with them regularly to actually make adjustments to make sure that the protocol is actually working for you. Because again, everyone's gonna react differently. And it's also proof that more is not necessarily always better. And I say that all the time, but you know, it might just be that in my first kick at the can, when I didn't have any supplements really in the mix, that just wasn't enough. And then on the flip side, this time I kind of like went, all right, now we're going to go all in, and it might just have been too much, too fast.
When you put too much in, your body can, and depending on the combination of foods, supplements, antibiotics, liquid intake, you know, it's like a formula. And clearly the formula's outcome for her is unpleasant.
Okay, so day 29, I think. I have stopped counting. But I just finished my 4 weeks of rifaximin, of the antibiotics, and I'm so glad that I stuck it out there, because there was, you know, we were teetering with the idea of me just like aborting mission because it didn't seem like it was actually working.
Yeah, a lot of things, it can feel like it's not working, and then you might quit too soon. If it's like a 4-week protocol, if it's a 6-week protocol, if it's a 2, whatever it is, definitely stick it out, because when you're trying to figure out what works for your body, it's an experiment. You have to complete the experiment to know for sure. So even though you probably will feel like crap, or you feel like it's not working, it actually might be working. You don't know until you complete, and in her case, test.
But I feel like I'm taking a turn here. And basically TMI, but my bowel movements and my regularity is much better. Way less gas and bloating. It's not perfect, but I feel like I'm on the right track. So I'm just gonna keep doing what I'm doing and move along in the protocol and hope for the best.
We are almost near the end of the video, but we're gonna end it here because we are ending on a positive note where she is feeling hopeful and, you know, looking towards the future with bright eyes, and that is where I think it is best to stop, because just in case it takes a downhill dive, we don't want that. We want positivity, even though bloating sucks. It does get better, and I hope for her it gets better sooner than later. You suffer from extreme bloating, you don't know what's going on, you're in extreme pain and discomfort, go see a doctor. If the doctor's like, oh, just drink more water, tell them no. Like, let's get to the bottom of this, or go see a different doctor. Like I said, it's an experiment, and everyone's experiment is going to be a little different, because we're all a little different, and we all have different trigger foods, we all have different bacteria levels, we have all of that. Good luck, and good luck to her too. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you did not enjoy it, you can give it a thumbs down. That is cool too. I don't mind. If you're not subscribed already, please consider subscribing, and be sure to hit the notification bell to stay notified of all future uploads. If you have any comments, questions, video suggestions, anything at all, feel free to leave that in the comment section below. Be sure to go follow me over on Instagram, and I will see you next time. Bye!